medication is taking. Yeah, so I like that a lot better. Wow, look at that. Very cute. Anyway, I woke up a few minutes ago. And as you can see, what the fuck is that? No, it's a mole. And I thought that today we could. This is really bothering me. Like, why is it crooked? Okay, I feel like that's better. I'm gonna put my hair up so I can touch my face. I feel like today, because I have this whole thing where I want to do a whole video of like spend my day off with me. I don't think today's gonna be the day for that. It is my day off, but so is tomorrow. So maybe I'll film that then. I feel like for today, I really wanted to sit down. I really hate how my face looks with my hair up, but it's fine. It's fine. I really wanted to just sit down and just film a video documenting and telling you about telling you guys about my chronic illness. And it's not that I'm gonna be looking for sympathy or anything like that. Like, I'm fine, thanks. It's not for sympathy or for views. It's mostly, I just want to put this out there. Honestly, I've always wanted to do YouTube. And by the way, I'm using CeraVe. I lost my tweezers too, so I'm going to perfect my brows. I've always wanted to do YouTube, and I have done YouTube, but unfortunately I had to abandon that account because I have a lot of people there, especially family. And at first that was like great because everyone's very supportive, but at the same time I don't want my family to see my videos. Like, I don't know, something about that just adds a whole, like, when you're filming, instead of thinking like, oh, what am I going to say, like, how can I be myself, you're going to be thinking about like, oh, what it is that my family is going to be saying or thinking when they see this, you know. I don't want that. I really don't. But anyway, I'm deciding to do a new channel, so fuck it. And also my previous channel was very much, I'm gonna use my phone actually. My previous channel was very much about art, which I still do, but I do not want that to be the goal. Not the goal, but like, I want that to be the focus of my channel. I want my channel to be about me and my life, because like, again, I want to document shit. Oh my god. I feel like I want to do tanning drops, which is a bold choice. Just kidding. These are really good. So I'm gonna go and do a layer of that because I feel like I'm oh my god, I can't speak today. I did my roots at my friend's house a few days ago. It smells like caramel, by the way. I did my roots there with her help because I cannot get back to the back. But I can't reach the back. I mean, I can reach it, I just can't see it, so I'm always scared that I want to fuck it up because I had like a freaking highway. Because my natural hair color is dark brown. Not even this, because I bleached it too. Because I have a wedding next week, so not my wedding. I feel like I should clarify that. It is not my wedding. But yeah. Long story short, I did my roots. It ended up getting much more lighter than what I thought. Like, I know on camera it looks orange, but I don't know what's wrong with my camera. I'm going to try to color corrected in post editing. It doesn't look like that in real life. If anything, it looks like very yellow. I mean, not yellow, like piss yellow. It looks very eggshell yellow, which I don't mind. And I think like this part, it looks more golden in real life. It looks like honey, and I like that. So excuse me, because I'm gonna look for something. Guys, I really don't know. Like I feel lost because I didn't plan. Oh my god, I didn't plan anything to say, and I didn't plan like a whole script. I don't want to do scripts because again, that's too much time consuming. I just wanted to be us, and we could yap together, and hopefully you feel like we're on FaceTime together, because that's my favorite kind of video. It's like when people are just yapping and talking about random shit. I don't know, I find it so interesting. It's really nice. Like I feel like I can get other stuff done while watching that, because sometimes there's too much going on. Like, but yeah. Hey, so it's a bit later now. It's a bit later now, but we're gonna do our little bagels for lunch. Time is currently 1:13 p.m. Okay. Listen, I could either have an energy drink or some iced tea. I think I'm gonna go with the energy drink, because those, I don't know, I'm really addicted to Coke. And by the way, not Coke as in cocaine, like Coca-Cola. That would be an odd statement. I know I said I wanted to keep things honest, but like, no, I'm not doing drugs. Thanks. Unless you count all the medication I have to take, but yeah. Speaking of which, because I have a chronic illness, and I thought, I don't know if you guys can see me, but I think that's fine. Like, you can't see what I'm doing, but that's fine. Do you need to be visually entertained while I talk? I don't know. If we must. I'm spreading cream cheese on the bagel. Like I said, I have a chronic illness. It's called ulcerative colitis. It's not IBS. Is it IBS? I don't know. There's another like acronym. But anyway, I'm gonna tell you the story of how I got diagnosed and how everything happened. So I was living in Belgium, as I told you. I was doing my master's degree there, and this is my second year living there. So my master's degree was only 1 year, so it was done, and I was working in a restaurant or a cafe or whatever, while I was trying to find jobs within my field of study, which is arts. And yeah. So one night I start shitting blood, like profusely, lots of blood, like a lot of blood. And I was scared, and I was like, oh my god, what the fuck is that? Like, what's happening? And I don't know, like if you're thinking like, oh, you're gay, like maybe you did some like bottom shit. I wasn't doing any of that. I was in a relationship, but it was like my boyfriend was still here in Portugal, so it was a long distance relationship, and I wasn't cheating, so I wasn't doing anything. Like I wasn't using the back door, if you know what I mean. Like, yeah. But anyway, this starts going, and I'm like, okay, like, you know, like maybe something went wrong. Like maybe tomorrow will be fine. And then 3 or 4 days go by, and I'm still bleeding. And I call the hospital. They tell me to come in. I go to the hospital. I paid like 60 euros out of pocket because it was like a night. Um, it was a night thing, like a night appointment, and they charge more because of that there. And I think I was also dumb because I went to a private hospital without knowing. I thought I was going to a public hospital. But anyway, the lady told me like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm gonna give you this cup, and you can take a sample of your poop, and we'll do tests. And I was like, no thanks. Like, after paying 60 euros for this shit, no thank you. Um, so I booked a flight back to Portugal, and I went to the hospital, and they did all kinds of tests and all kinds of shit. And when he came back, they told me that it was ulcerative colitis, which is, I already explained it to you, so I'm not gonna explain it again. So yeah, that happened, and then they put me on cortisone, and they told me that shit was gonna be like, I think it was like 3 months, because when you do cortisone, you have to lower it like every week. You lower the dosage so you don't. I don't know what the word is in English, but it's like so you don't become addicted, and so like uh, you're like I don't know the word. I don't know how to explain it. Like you just lower the dosage so that your body becomes used to like less and less and less, so that when it stops, you're not going from 100 to 0. You're going from 100 to 90 to 80 to 70 to 0. But anyway, you lower it every week or every 2 weeks, depending on what you're dealing with. And by the way, cortisone is awful for you. It's very toxic, and it's used because it's like a steroid, and it's, in some cases, it's the only thing that works, and it did work. Like, I remember like the first pill that I took, within like an hour I was like back to normal. Like, because keep in mind, like, all throughout this time I was bleeding and just having like terrible diarrhea, like every 5 minutes. And not exaggerating, like it was every 5 minutes, especially if I had something to eat. I'll be in the toilet for a long time. So that was really, it was also painful. Like, it was very painful. It's like when you're trying to hold and poop and it starts really hurting, but at times like I couldn't poop. Like, there was nothing to come out. It was just like this feeling of being incredibly sick in my belly. So yeah, I did the cortisone or the steroids, whatever you want to call it. I did that. Everything went back to normal for like, I want to say like a month or two. I was normal, and I thought, okay, like it was just like a big scare. And then a few months later, it all went back to shit. Literally, I was just bleeding again. I had mucus. I was like diarrhea everywhere. And I remember like my parents came here, because I'm not from Lisbon. I'm not from the mainland of Portugal. I was born on the islands. And my parents came over, and we were like dealing with this, and like we tried to get my mind off things by sightseeing and just like enjoying the day, like, as any family would do. But it wasn't possible. If I left the house, I couldn't. I had to go to a bathroom. Like, it was crazy. It was very crazy, and it messed me up so psychologically. But it messed me up psychologically so bad. It was awful. It was really god awful. So yeah, then they gave me like this, these pills, or like back then it was like it wasn't a powder, but like it was like a sand, some type of like sandy substance that you had to take in the morning and at night, and a shit ton of pills, like a lot of things that had to be taken. There was like this suppositories, and there was like this foam that you would inject up your ass, literally. And for a time that did work, but again, it was never that like, I could never like really feel like, okay, like I'm good, like now I'm good. it was always something, and I always knew, I always had this feeling that like it would all go back to how it was at some point. Like and what I mean by that is like it would really go back to like just pain and diarrhea and blood and all that. And I was right. So that happened. So by this time, I had already broken up my previous relationship, which was like an 8-year relationship, which wasn't that bad, because it was very toxic. And a part of this disease, unfortunately, is stress management and anxiety. Like, whenever you're really stressed or anxious, you're bound to get some symptoms. So I knew that that relationship wasn't healthy. Like, not taking into consideration everything like toxic about it, but like health wise, it wasn't good because we were having fights and I was always like anxious and I was always stressed and all that shit. So I broke that relationship. I broke up with him. I left. I mean, he left. I stayed where I was, and things got better for like a few months, like a few months. And then I met someone else, and then we got into a relationship. And at some point, I think like it had been a year, or maybe less. It was close to a year. Um, but I was feeling fine. That was great. And then everything came back again. And this time I went to the hospital. They told me that I would need to be hospitalized for a few weeks so they could see what was best for me. And that was very scary. Like, I remember I had called my mom and I had spoken to a doctor, and she said like, yeah, you need to go to the emergency room because you need to be hospitalized because they need to take care of that. You can't let this keep going. Because imagine, like, sometimes it would be like you get a really bad week, as in like, again, all kinds of symptoms, and then it will go back normal. But this time it did not feel like that. In fact, like, it kept feeling like everything was getting worse and worse by the day. So yeah, I did a lot of things. I did like colonoscopies, I did like injections, I did x-rays, I did all kinds of things. And at some point, this bitch doctor, I hate her so much, but like this bitch was like, you need to start thinking about surgery because you're likely to need surgery to remove your intestines. And it was like, when someone is scared, we're not gonna say that shit. And then I spoke to another doctor, which is now my current doctor, thank God, because he specializes in intestinal diseases, or irritable bowel syndrome things. I spoke to him and he was like, "No, you're not. We're not considering surgery for you. Like, you still have plenty of options left before it gets to that." Like, I don't know why she would say that. And so yeah, and during those 2 weeks, they gave me my first dose of biologics, which that shit was like life changing. It was insane. It was actually insane. Like, and it's nothing special. Like, girl, they put like a dripper or something. I don't know what it's called, but they put like something in your veins, like a needle, and then you have this dripper thing, like an IV, and you just sit there for like 2 hours taking that shit in. It doesn't hurt. It's not that bad. Like, and it's very comfortable too. So yeah, I've been doing that for, I want to say, a year and a half, maybe. It turns to 2 years in November this year. So yeah, that was that. And nowadays, I really do feel a lot better and just a lot more safe. Like, I don't have this feeling anymore where I feel like, tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and it's gonna go back to all the bad things that were happening. Which, granted, it can still happen, like, over time. Like, You can't predict how long this treatment will work on someone. Like, it could work for years, it could work a whole lifetime, or it could be like a couple of months and then you develop an intolerance, or no, it's not an intolerance, but it just stops working. Like immunity, you develop an immunity towards the medication. But even then, I'm not that scared because there are other types of medication to take. So, with that being said, nowadays I feel much better. Oh, and also there was like this part where I'm really sorry. I'm really struggling with my hair right now because I don't want to look like an old lady, but I think that's fine. And also another what's it called? It's like a problem. I don't know. Like I'm struggling with my words today. Um, Another thing that comes up with this disease is joints hurting. For me personally, my wrists, my ankles, and my back. It also affects your spine because there's inflammation in your intestine, and that inflammation is spreading out in your body. And so for a really, really long time, I was struggling with joint pain. And I'm not even gonna like be, like, it's fine. It's just no, it was a bitch. It was very bad in the mornings. Like, you honestly felt like a robot that wasn't oiled up. Like, when I woke up, it was very painful to do this. Everything was very stiff. Everything was very sore and tender, especially my ankles. Like, if I woke up and got out of bed, I would fall to the ground because I could not stand myself. I couldn't stand up because it was very painful. And so, thankfully, nowadays, like, that's much better, especially with all the medication that I take now. It is much better, and it is much more. It still hurts, and I still have periods of times where it's very sore, especially if it's very cold outside. It really hurts. But other than that, I've been living my best life, girl. This is the life. Hold on tight. That kind of shit. But yeah, this really, really, really takes like a toll on your mental health, and like, I don't think people talk about that enough because they think it's like a physical condition. So why would it affect your psyche? It is very scary when a doctor tells you that you have a chronic illness. When you have an illness for life, you're like, okay, that's scary. Like, you're gonna have to deal with this until the day you die. There's also like, I don't know if you know, but steroids and corticoids, that shit, they do something to you that's called a moon phase, and it basically causes a lot of water retention in your body, especially in your face. So my face was like round, like it was really round as fuck, and that takes years to completely, go back to normal. And I feel like nowadays I'm more normal, and I can always tell. I don't do corticoids anymore, by the way, but I can always tell by like my jaw. I don't know if you can see, but like, you see how it curves inward? Do you see that? If I pull it tight so you can see the bone underneath, like, you see that? When I was doing steroids, you could not see that. It was like, my face was like this. It was very, very round and very puffy. It really caused a lot of body dysmorphia because you look in the mirror and you don't recognize yourself. Like, you actually do not recognize. You can see that there's something wrong. Not necessarily wrong, but like something different about you. Like, you don't recognize what you're looking at. So that was very fucked up. It was very scary. And there's also like all the other like physical limitations. I've always prided myself as someone who's very independent of other people. I moved out of my parents' home when I was 18. And granted, they did help me, so it wasn't like I moved out with my own money. They did help me, but I've always looked forward to leaving and living alone or with someone. But most of the times, I don't want to be dependent on my parents. Not only for their sake, but like for also for my sake, because what the fuck, I do really enjoy taking care of myself and knowing that I'm self sufficient in that regard. So all of a sudden, you can't be independent. You have to be with someone. You have to have someone around you to drive you to places, to cook you food, to cook you food to cook for you, um, and do all kinds of things. And just in general, be like supportive of you. And yeah, unfortunately, for some people, it's very hard for them to understand. It really goes as far as saying like disabilities are not always visible. So I think a lot of people would look at me and think like, oh, you're a healthy young man. Like, what could you possibly have? And this is more like when it comes to jobs, like your employers and stuff, they will judge. They will judge, and they will think you're lying, and they will think that you're making shit up so you don't have to go to work because you're lazy, um, or all kinds of shit. But it truly is terrible, and it is really awful to have to deal with that. Um, but yeah, nowadays, again, I feel like I am in a much better, not only mental space, but also like physically, I'm doing much better. Oh my god. I need to blow my nose. Nowadays, I really do feel like I'm doing a lot better. And I'm just recovering some of that strength. I've always been a very confident person. I'm very introspective. I've always been very introspective, and I do spend a lot of time in my own head thinking. And it really, you will never be, you'll never be able to um, influence me with any like negative things, because at the end of the day, I am my own worst enemy, and I'm also my own best friend. So there's practically nothing you can say to me that will affect me, because I already know it. I already know it, and I am very grateful to be self-aware about those things, and I do feel like I'm growing as a person. Not that I'm a bitch, but I can be a bitch. I will absolutely be a bitch if I have to. Um, but yeah, moral of the story is like I'm very confident in myself nowadays, and I've always been very confident in myself. But I feel like as of like these past few months, I've been a lot more confident because I've gotten that independent feeling back. You know, like I feel like I can take care of myself. I feel like I can go for a run whenever I want, or you know, cook for myself, or take myself to the hospital and do whatever the fuck it is that I need to be doing. I'm not depending on people, which depending is not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, and like I don't want to be here like I never want to depend. I know for a fact that I never want to depend on a man. Um, but it is nice to have people to help you in trying times, and to have a supportive family, supportive friends, people who will just be there regardless of the situation you're in. And I'm very lucky to have all of those things. But at the same time, it's like if I feel like this is something that I can do on my own, I will do it on my own. And I think sometimes it's also like I don't want to be a burden to anyone else. Like, you know, I don't want my mom to have to pay for a flight to come here. Like when I was hospitalized, I told her like, bitch, do not come, do not spend your hard-earned money, because it's fine. Like I'm in a hospital, I have my friends here, I'm where I should be, and I'm being really well taken care of. So yeah, that was that. I hope you enjoyed that, because oh my god, I've been speaking for 20 minutes? 20 minutes, girl. She was yapping, okay? Like, she was yapping. But yeah, that's my story. I hope for myself and in the future that it doesn't really. I really don't want to go back to how it was when I was diagnosed. Like, that was very painful in all sorts of ways, and I really felt like I was having an out of body experience, and I was having like very negative thoughts all the time. It's like it'll never get better, I'll never get better, and I'll never have a normal life, and I'll never have a relationship, and I'll never have someone to be with, because like, especially in the gay community, like, you know, like, there's a lot of stigma around this shit, literally. But yeah, no, I feel fine, even if my current relationship doesn't work, and if things end, I won't be scared to be alone, I think, because I think more importantly than having a relationship is loving yourself and living life to your fullest, which is honestly going in full circle now, because this is why I wanted to do YouTube again, because this has always been one of my dreams, is to just be a YouTuber. And I'm not gonna be here and be like, oh, I don't want the money. Like, it's not about the money. Like, yes, part of me really wants me to be successful on YouTube so I can have money, so I can live my life the way I want it. Because I really don't think like working a full-time job is for me personally. I don't know. Like, it doesn't. I don't like working for other people in general. There's a lot of shit that I don't agree with, and I'm very vocal about it. But this has always been something that I wanted to do, and I've done in the past, but I kind of gave up on that a few years ago. But also, like, again, like, obviously it would be great if I could make money off of my YouTube channel, but also at the same time it's also to document myself. I've been journaling for the past 3 or 4 years. I journal every week, sometimes every day, sometimes twice a week. But I've been really enjoying having a record of my life. So, you know, sometimes if I'm really sad, I'll go back and read some things and be like, okay, like, you girl, you have no reason to be sad right now, because this was your life a couple of years ago. And it really helps me to put things into perspective, which I think is very helpful and everyone should do. But yeah, I do that to deconstruct some of my thoughts, some of my feelings, but at the end of the day, I do it to have a physical record of my life, because I really God, I really find that very interesting. I'm also very curious, because I got this necklace yesterday. I don't know if it's stainless steel, not the ADHD popping in, but like, I don't know if it's stainless steel, so I'm scared it's gonna turn green, but I don't think it will. It's very cute. And it's like a cherry, because I love cherries, and also, I don't know if you can see, but it has like a little crystal, so it sparkles. I think that's cute. But yeah, I want to do that. I want to just document my life in video format, because I want to have memories of that. Like, it is one thing to read about like your old house or whatever. It's a very different thing to be seeing those places, like to be seeing this room. Like, maybe in a few years I won't be living here anymore, and I'm gonna miss this room, and I'll be like, oh my god, like, I can see what it was like, you know. But yeah, that's it, I think, for now. I think I've done enough yapping, guys. We're reaching the 30-minute timestamp, so I don't think I should keep yapping, or at least try to do some other things, unless you really want this. Like, I don't know. But anyway, if you watched this far, I want to say thank you, and let me know, what do you want to see next? Like, what do you want me to talk about? Because I feel like I do have a lot of shit. Like a lot of shit to spill. I can go in depth about my previous relationship. I think that would be fun for some of you who enjoy the tea being spilled. I do. I know I do. But yeah, that's it. Thank you. And I'll see you next time. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm gonna add more to this video, so I'm saying goodbye now, but I don't know.